we're going to review some of the properties we need to help us solve linear equations. So this is the distributive property. This is how we simplify parentheses. And what we need to remember is that A gets multiplied by B, and we multiply A times C. Right? This is the distributive property. We distribute A across B and C. We also have our properties of equality. The addition property says I can add the same thing to both sides, and that equation still has its equality. I can subtract the same thing from both sides. I can multiply the same number to both sides. I can divide both sides by the same number, and I still maintain that equality. Sorry about that. All right, so an example, I want to use the addition property to solve this equation. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to add 5 to both sides of the equation, right? I get x minus 5 plus 5, so I just get x, right, is equal to 17, and that's my solution. Now I want to check it, make sure it's right. 17 minus 5 is equal to 12. It works. So here are the steps for solving a linear equation in one variable. Now you have a worksheet. You'll need to fill in these steps on your worksheet so that you have these steps. You might need to pause the video, but these are the steps. Step 1, we're going to simplify both sides of the equation. We might need to use the distributive rule to simplify parentheses. We might need to multiply by a common denominator. We'll see an example of that if we have fractions. So that's our first step, is to simplify. Step 2, we want to use addition and subtraction properties to get all the variable terms on the left side of the equation and all the constant terms on the right side of the equation. Then we're going to simplify both sides by combining like terms. We are going to then divide both sides by the coefficient of the variable. Let's some examples. So I want to solve this equation. The first step is to simplify the parentheses using the distributive rule. So I've got 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4, 1 minus 2. So I'm going to take negative 2 times x is negative 2x, negative 2 times 6, negative 12. And then I'm going to simplify again. So I'm going to combine like terms. 3x plus 19, 15 plus 4 is 19. And then I'm going to combine 1 minus 12. That gives me negative 11. So on this side I have negative 2x minus 11. Now I'm going to start on step 2, where I put all my variable terms on the left, constants on the right. I'm going to start by subtracting 19 from both sides. So on this side I have 3x, and on the right side I have negative 11 minus 19. I get negative 30. Now I'm going to get all my variable terms on the left, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides. I get 5x equal to negative 30. And now I'm going to divide by that coefficient on the x, that's 5. Right, so divide by 5, and I get x is equal to negative 6, and that is my solution. Now, I want to make sure I go back and check back in my original equation. So I'm going to substitute negative 6 for x. And I get, in this set of parentheses, negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Simplify it. 3 plus 4 is 1. 1 is equal to 1. That is true. So negative 6 is my solution. I mentioned if we have fractions, we might need to multiply both sides by a common denominator. So now I have the fractions 1/2, 2/3, and 1/3. My common denominator is 6. So I'm going to multiply both sides through by 6, and that will get rid of my fractions. So to multiply both sides, we've got to do it with the distributive rule so that everything gets multiplied by 6. So 6 times 1/2 is 3x with the x, so 3x. 6 times 2/3. Now to multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators, right? So we've got 6 over 1, 2 over 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 6 times 1/3 is 6 divided by 3, which is 2. So I've got 2 times x, and 2 times 4, which is 8. Now I want to move to step 2. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. 8 minus 4 is 4. And then I'm going to subtract -2 from both sides, and I get x is equal to 4. And I want to check that. So I'm going to substitute that in. 4 times 1/2 is 2 plus 2/3. 4 plus 4 is 8 times 1/3. And this gives me 8/3 equal 8/3. Now to add a whole number in a fraction, remember we need common denominators again. So 2 is equal to 6 over 3. 6 plus 2 is 8. That's how I get the 8/3.